Welcome back inside of the Dynasty Draft Room. This is the Draft Seminar, and today, me and John Lobb, the Gridiron Scholar, are going to be breaking down Jalen Hurts, giving you the full profile of this highly debated 2020 rookie. But before we do that, I want to make sure everybody knows that the 2020 Fantasy Football Rookie Guide is officially available for pre-order on dynastydraftroom.com. For less than 2 cups of coffee, you can get 91 full player profiles broken down by 10 different traits with a full player summary, their college statistics, their red flags, strengths, weaknesses, and after the draft, you'll get an updated copy with their landing spot analysis and a full ranking by 5 analysts from the dynastydraftroom.com. With that being said, John, let's go ahead and talk specifically tonight about Jalen Hurts.
Matt, he's been one of my best and most favorite players to watch in college fantasy football over the past 4 seasons. And when I look at this Super Sooner and I look at his resume, he is clearly an overlooked and underappreciated signal caller as an NFL prospect. Let's go back in high school. He was a 4-star prospect and ranked as the #1 dual threat quarterback by 24/7 Sports. He goes to Alabama. And in 2016, he wins SEC Freshman and Offensive Player of the Year honors. What a tremendous season he had. I picked him up off the waiver wire and played him a ton that year in college fantasy football. Now, the next year he starts, but he eventually loses the job to Tua. And he even was benched in the championship game against Clemson, in which Tua led that fabulous comeback against the Tigers. He saw the writing on the wall and he transferred to Oklahoma, and he stepped into a pressure cooker offense and he really delivered. I mean, he replaced Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. And last year he was so good. He was the 2019 first team All Big 12. Hey, as a starter, this young man logged a 38-4 career record. He competed in 7 college football playoff games and started 5 of them. He's been tutored by 2 of the elite college coaches in the nation, Nick Saban, a Hall of Famer, all-time great, and Lincoln Riley, one of the greatest offensive minds of the last decade in college football. He's coming in as a decorated star leaving college, Matt.
John, I completely agree, and I don't think you'll find anybody who will argue with you about his propensity to make an impact at the college level, but the trepidation that many people have with him is going to be his ability to translate to the NFL. So why don't you dig a little bit more into his college stats and show us, John, if he's hitting those metrics that you're looking for to take him to success at the NFL.
Matt, he doesn't hit the metrics. He has hit a grand slam. If you like Baker Mayfield, if you like Kyler Murray, and you like their numbers coming out of Oklahoma, how can you not like Jalen Hurts' productivity? In all 5 of my benchmarks, he exceeds the minimum. Games played, 56. This young man knows how to get ready for a football game. He knows what it takes to train. He knows what it takes to learn the playbook. He is ready. Passing efficiency, he exceeds the benchmark. Completion percentage, the one area where I was a little concerned, he has a 65.1% career. That is fantastic number for a player people consider to be inaccurate. Yards per attempt, 9.1. He's chucking this ball down the field. Touchdown interception ratio, 80-20 over his career, 4-1. Look at all 5 of those benchmarks, he exceeds. So the productivity is there. Now, I mentioned it last time, I'm adding an escapability score to each player. This young man gets an A+, my friend. Career rushing yards, 3,274. And remember, in college football, if a player gets sacked, those yards are subtracted from the rushing yards. So this young man is prolific with his legs. So I give him an A+ in escapability score. He exceeds and everything that I'm looking for in a quarterback.
Fantastic, John. Great breakdown into the stats and the profile behind him. Now what we do in this part of the episode is jump into a full tape breakdown. If you're listening to the audio podcast version, we saw a ton of downloads in our first week. Thank you so much for those. You can also check us out on YouTube here if you want to follow along and watch the breakdown as well. And if you're listening on YouTube, you can check out our podcast, Dynasty Draft Room, and you're going to get 2 additional episodes per week, one with me and Zach Patraw talking NFL Draft, and one with me and Eric Adams talking Dynasty Fantasy Football. So we cover it all here at the dynastydraftroom.com. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the film breakdown for Jalen Hurts, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. We start here with his ability to extend the play, like John was mentioning. His ability to roll outside of the pocket and still make pinpoint passes on the run is really what helps separate him. And we're going to slow it down a little bit here. All of our videos are at 75%, but you could see here he quickly feels pressure against Houston and then is able to roll out and extend the pocket in a way that most quarterbacks are not able to do. Here we go. Competitive toughness has always been a leading factor for him. He may not be the biggest quarterback, but he is never afraid to put his head down, and he is a goal line threat, which is obviously a huge benefit for fantasy football. And he's not necessarily touted for his arm, but I'll tell you, John, he can work it in the short and midfield. He can get a little bit of zip on his ball. And John alluded to it earlier, but he is a true running threat, and it's not necessarily his speed, but his field vision and his athleticism really separate him from the competition. And that is our breakdown of Jalen Hurts' college film. John, how did I do?
You did incredible, Matt. And let me just add a few things that I love about this young man. First of all, I think the perception is that he's undersized. He's 6'1" and 218 pounds. He's a self-assured passer. Look, he's bigger than Kyler Murray. He looks thin, but he just holds his weight well, and he's incredibly strong. Now, everything I've read about him, he's a tremendous leader who is well-liked by coaches and teammates. I have not read one bad thing about this young man. Now, you had mentioned it. He has admirable pocket awareness, and he does not get rattled. I've seen him get out of really tough situations with pass rushers and blitzers bearing down on him, and he continues to make a play. In the modern NFL, I want a playmaker. Jalen Hurts is stupendous off script. When the play breaks down, he remains focused and poised, and he keeps the chains moving. He's excellent RPOs, and he absorbs big hits. Like I mentioned, he's bigger and stronger than the frame indicates. He's just spectacular with his legs. Also, he improved dramatically as a passer under Riley's guidance. Very good pocket management, easily escapes pressure and avoids sacks. People, sometimes players improve, and they might even improve in the NFL. Jalen Hurts has been a consistent improver of passing the football. He gets in the right system with the coach that believes in him. I have a second-round grade. He's in my top 5. I'm very bullish on Jalen Hurts.
I love it. I love it, John. And here at the Dynasty Draft Room, we rank all of our we grade all of our players based on their total game film. For Jalen Hurts, we put him at a 79.9, which is a very high score in the rotational player range. Make sure to go ahead and talk to us on Twitter about what you think about Jalen Hurts. I'm at the FF_educator. John is at Gridiron SCHOL 91. I'll tell you, John, if there is a fan base, a college fan base that loves interacting and talking to me, whether it's on Twitter or even at the bar before a game here, it's the Oklahoma fan base. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they think about Jalen Hurts, because you got a chance to hear what we think about him. Make sure to check out all of John's 2020 rookie profiles at footballdiehards.com. And once again, the 2020 Dynasty Draft Room Rookie Guide is officially available for pre-sale. John, normally it costs less than 2 cups of coffee. It costs just $9.99, but you can get it 10% off if you get it in pre-sale, which lasts until March 15th. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will be back next time with another episode of the Draft Seminar. Pencils down, class.